Okay, so yesterday I was sitting really asking myself this question of AI and like in terms of like how does it fit into our ecosystem given that we're having a new transition, as devs. And I saw this amazing video, right? Very straight to a point. It was showing a person on the other side and another person on the other side. The person on the other side was, labeled as AI, and then the person on the other end was just the person prompting. So the AI was the guy who's AI. We just call him AI. AI was holding a, like this bread, like a long hot dog looking thing, bread. Right, you see that bread that looks like a hot dog, but it had like a lot of fillings inside. So it was holding it like this, right? It wasn't straight like this. It was just like this, right? When it's like that, um, the guy on the other side says, "Cut it in half." What AI does, and the bread is sitting like this, AI shifts the bread so it's straight and it wants to cut it straight in the middle. But normally, we wouldn't, as people, we wouldn't eat bread like that. We'd want the bread to be cut right in the middle when it's like this instead of like straight up like that, right? So the AI holds the bread like this and wants to cut it straight like that. But it's like, no, not like that. Then the AI stops and it's like, okay, how would you want me to cut it? And he's like, no, just cut it in half, like properly. But the AI is kind of stuck because it has so many options on its side that we are also not aware of. And on the other end, we are implying, and that's why most of the time, when you hear people say, um, English is the worst language to code in, or natural language is the worst language to code in because it's got a lot of inference, it's got a lot of subtle things, there's tonality to it and everything. Whereas a programming language, it's fixed. Like a variable is a variable. That's why it gives you an error at runtime because a variable is a variable, right? So that's why these strict coding language, like these structured coding languages, tend to be very specific because they know that so much can go wrong. You don't infer things, just like say them explicitly, right? So which had me thinking that at the end of the day, AI will augment whatever you have in your head. So essentially, if you know how to code, so if you're junior dev and like at the truest sense, or you not don't know much stuff, you're doing little tasks, and you use AI, it's just going to speed you up in doing those very little small tasks that you understand, especially. So most of the time, junior devs are given, and like if you go in a corporate, junior devs are given like light work and all of that. But if you are like intermediate going to senior type of getting the type of work where you're building a system from scratch on your own, you have to use a lot of things. So with that one, that's where the difference is because now it requires deeper knowledge. And if you are allowing the thought process to be done by the AI where you are not doing the thought process, it becomes a problem. You should look at AI as your worker as opposed to as a peer. Do you get what I mean? Because AI most of the time will be like, okay, guys, go and do this, but boss, this thing is not working because of this. Oh, okay, fine, go and do this. Do this in this different way. That's how you should look at AI. So, how I'm going to be going forward with my stack, I need, and that's the thing with AI. If guys, if you're not paying, stick to hard coding straight. But if you're not paying, AI is not going to work much for you. So this is how I'm going to go forward with my AI stack. Right, I'm going to use ChatGPT Go, which I'm paying for it anyway, and I've been using it at work. Lifesaver, especially when it comes to explaining things. ChatGPT Go, that's like 150, 160. Is it 180? I'm not sure. ChatGPT Go. I am going to be using Claude Pro, which is like $20. That's around 300 and something rand. And I'm going to be using, I already use Copilot for like Copilot, but it's a student edition, so it's free for me. And then I'm also going to be using DeepSeek. But how I'm going to be using DeepSeek, I'm going to be using the CLI version, right? And I'm still going to talk about what CLI version is. But that whole stack is going to get me far, and I'll be paying around 600 and something rand. But there's another video I'm going to post because this is going to get long about how that stack works.